California is a fascinating paradox. It's a condensed version of everything advanced economies get right and everything they get terribly wrong. The headlines make it sound like California is crumbling. Stories about people and companies leaving, rising poverty, ineffective government programs, a brutal housing crisis, high taxes, crumbling infrastructure, and escalating environmental issues paint a bleak picture. Throw in trade tensions that put California's global-facing industries at risk, and it's easy to see why there's growing anxiety. What makes it more complicated is how mobile California's industries are. There is nothing stopping Silicon Valley or Hollywood from relocating, especially if the challenges aren't addressed quickly. The reason they haven't left already? They rely on ecosystems that exist in California. Tech companies stay because their suppliers, investors, and talent are there. And those support systems remain because the industries are still there. It's a feedback loop, a strong one. But it can run in reverse. When enough people and businesses leave, it destabilizes the entire structure. So yes, California's under a lot of scrutiny right now. But here's the twist. Despite the noise, by the numbers, California is still one of the largest and fastest-growing economies in the world. Its per capita output surpasses nearly every nation except a few small, wealthy outliers. That's not what you'd expect from a place supposedly on the brink of collapse. The truth is, California draws attention, sometimes more than it deserves. Economic issues here get amplified, partly because the state is so iconic. But just because the headlines say it's falling apart doesn't mean it is. The real question is, are these problems signs of long-term decline or just growing pains in a state that's always been a little ahead and a little messy? Quick side note before we go deeper into that. Right now, I am on the road in Northern Europe and using an app that made the whole experience way easier. Saily. It's an eSIM app that gives you mobile data in over 190 countries. No physical SIM swapping, no airport kiosk negotiations. Just download, install the eSIM, and you're connected. I've used it to check train schedules, message my team, and book tickets on the go, all without hunting for Wi-Fi. It even comes with privacy tools like ad blockers and virtual locations. If you're planning a trip or just want a digital safety net for flaky Wi-Fi days, give it a shot. Use the code ECONOMICS for 15% off. Back to California. The state is home to some of the world's most valuable industries. Technology and entertainment are the headliners. But finance, shipping, higher education, aerospace, and agriculture all play major roles. Institutions like Stanford, UCLA, and Caltech don't just educate. They attract top-tier talent that fuels innovation. Meanwhile, the state's farms supply the country with high-value crops. And on top of all that, industries like tourism and real estate thrive from California's global appeal. In other words, even if one sector struggles, others can help carry the load. And for the most part, that's what's happened. California's economy has consistently outpaced the broader U.S., and the U.S. itself has outpaced almost every other major economy, with the exception of China. Of course, California isn't perfect. Between the influencers, tech bros, and sky-high grocery bills, it's not exactly everyone's cup of kombucha, so yeah, some people enjoy seeing it get knocked down a peg. But there's a deeper reason for California's economic resilience, and it's not just luck. The state's biggest strength? Its strength. Tech companies start in California because that's where the talent and venture capital are. That talent and capital flow there because it's where tech companies start. This agglomeration effect, the clustering of related businesses in one place, has real benefits. In the Bay Area, startups are close to suppliers, advisors, investors, universities, and even competitors. That proximity fosters innovation and keeps everyone on their toes. But this model is shifting. In digital-first industries like tech and, to a lesser extent, entertainment, physical location is becoming less critical. COVID-19 accelerated this shift by proving that remote work is viable. Suddenly, you didn't need to live in the Bay Area to work for a Bay Area company. That's a problem for California, especially when you factor in cost of living. California consistently ranks as one of the most expensive places to live. And while average incomes are high, they're skewed by a handful of ultra-wealthy individuals. Most people in support roles, teachers, nurses, service workers, are struggling to keep up. Housing affordability stats often mask this. Averages make it seem manageable, but those numbers are pulled upward by tech salaries. In reality, everyday workers are priced out, and that's prompting a quiet exodus. People are moving to cities where life is more affordable and comfortable, even if it means a smaller paycheck. Then there's taxes. California has the highest state income tax in the country. For a long time, it didn't matter. If you wanted to work in tech or entertainment, you came to California. But with remote work, you can take your talents and your tax dollars elsewhere. Wealthy residents are increasingly doing just that. California's tax system leans heavily on high earners, especially through capital gains. That works well when times are good, but it makes revenue volatile. If wealthy people leave or stop cashing out their stock options, state income takes a hit. And while other states also face boom-bust cycles, California's reliance on the top of the income pyramid makes it more exposed. It also has a transience problem. Many people move to California for short-term opportunities, not to settle down. They work a few years at a big firm, then move somewhere cheaper. These residents often have less long-term investment in the state's future. That can weaken support for infrastructure and social programs that benefit everyone in the long run. On top of all this, California faces growing competition. Other states are rolling out the red carpet for high-income earners and businesses, offering lower taxes and fewer regulations. Combine that with California's very visible social issues, homelessness, petty crime, and the case for leaving starts to make more sense. Still, don't count California out. Its economy is growing, but it's not untouchable. Detroit once seemed unstoppable, too. Overconfidence can be dangerous. Immigration adds another twist. Much of California's workforce growth has come from international immigration. That pipeline is becoming less reliable due to visa restrictions and shifting political winds. Without a steady influx of skilled workers, industries could struggle to maintain momentum. Trade is another vulnerability. California's ports handle a huge portion of U.S. imports, especially from China. A trade war could cut deeply into that revenue, and many of California's key exports, entertainment, tech services, are already feeling the impact of retaliatory measures abroad. Environmental risks round out the list. Wildfires and droughts aren't just bad for residents. They threaten the housing market and make some areas uninsurable. That could push more people out and make it harder to attract new ones. Finally, perception matters. California's challenges are real, but they're also highly visible. Other states face similar problems but get less attention. When an LA tent city goes viral, it shapes national opinion more than similar issues in less iconic places. So, is California doomed? No. But it's definitely at a crossroads. Whether it continues to thrive or starts to slide depends on how it adapts to the challenges ahead. Thanks for watching.